Let's talk about caste system in India. Caste system at its core it's not a class system, but rather it's not just poverty. It's a system that's assigned at your birth. It's an identity that's given to you, and it defines your profession, your social position, which is huge, who you can marry, what you can eat, where you can live, what water you can touch, which temples you can enter, and which jobs you're permitted to do. All of this is determined even before you're born, even before your birth, and it never changes. And no matter what you do, no matter how much you achieve, no matter how many degrees you get, no matter how much money you make, you can never escape it. You're born into it and you die in it. So the caste system has 4 tiers called Varnas. So these 4 tiers, starting from Brahmins, who are known as priests and teachers, and then beneath them are Kshatriyas. These are the ones that are rulers and warriors, and then there are Vaishyas, who are traders or merchants, and then beneath them are Shudras, who are servants and laborers. And then there are people who didn't even register in this hierarchy. The people beneath all these hierarchies, the tier system, they are the ones that were assigned the most polluting jobs, like, for example, cleaning dead bodies or cleaning human waste, and they were declared impure by birth, not by action or not by their job or choice, but rather by birth. And these are the people who later came to known as untouchables, or later we reclaim the identity as Dalits. Now, what does Dalit stand for? Dalits means broken, and it could also mean as ground down, and we chose the word ourselves. So what makes caste system different than class system? So class system is economic. It can change. A poor person can become rich, or a rich person can lose everything. But caste is permanent. A Dalit person with a PhD is still a Dalit. A rich Dalit is still a Dalit. You cannot buy your way out. You cannot educate your way out. You cannot achieve your way out. And the only escape is through conversion to other religions out of Hinduism, and which is why Dr. B.R. Ambedkar converted to Buddhism on his deathbed to escape his birth identity. And that's how total caste is. It governs not just your economics, but also your entire existence. So in 1950, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who is a Dalit himself, he is also the architect of Indian Constitution. He actually codified into law abolishing untouchability and also made it a punishable offense. Sounds like the end of the story, but not really, not even close, because you cannot legislate away a practice that was sacralized for thousands of years in India. And this untouchability, the caste system, the discrimination is enforced by entire communities, and it is internalized by everyone inside it. The law changed, the law was created, but the practice did not end there. So how is the caste system enforced? So it was codified by one of the ancient Hindu religious texts called the Manusmriti, and it talks about the 4 Varna system that I described earlier, and it also mentions who could own land, who could study, who could wear certain clothes, and it also talks about punishing people who violate these rules by violence, sometimes even death. An example is if a lower caste person listens to religious Hindu hymns, they should be punished by pouring molten lead into their ears. If they chant these hymns, their tongue should be cut off. And it wasn't considered cruelty, it was actually considered cosmic order, God's will, and karma for a past life. The religious sanctification is what made it really difficult, almost impossible to challenge from within. You weren't fighting a human system, you were actually fighting a God's will, according to Manusmriti and other Hindu religious texts. And the most extreme expression of caste is in the form of untouchability. It's the literal belief that some humans are so impure spiritually that their physical presence itself contaminates everything they touch. Their shadow falling on an upper caste person, contamination. Their hands touching a water vessel, contamination. Their presence entering a space, contamination. Which led to separate water wells for Dalits, separate walkways on the road for Dalits. Sometimes Dalits were even required to wear a bell around their necks so that their presence can be announced to the upper caste person so that they can avoid them. Or they were required to sweep their footprints as they walk so that an upper caste person doesn't walk on the same path and then contaminate them, the upper caste person. And this is not ancient history, this actually happened even in living memory, and it's documented, verified, reported, and it happens across multiple Indian states. So what does untouchability look like now in 2025, 2026? So a Dalit woman was appointed to a school in India, and the villagers built a barbed fence around the school to stop this Dalit woman from entering the school. That Dalit woman showed up every day to school just to go back because she couldn't enter the school because of the barbed wire, and it happened for months. A recent example is a 25-year-old woman named Gayatri. She was stabbed to death by her father for marrying a Dalit guy, and this happened in urban Mumbai, not in the village. This actually happened like 2 months ago. So the caste system is not an ancient history. It's a live operating system running in India right now, and also in Indian diaspora in the US or in some other countries. It's in workplaces, it's in temples, it's in who gets invited to meetings that matter, and who gets mentored and who doesn't. It's also in the silence of all the upper caste Indians that watched my last video but said nothing. The silence is caste too.